Hello everybody, welcome to Minnesota Sports HQ. I'm Ben, and what can I say? It has been a while. Don't really have any excuses. I've had a pretty easy semester. Just haven't felt like making any videos really, but I've had some ideas for some stuff to do, and what can I say? Hopefully the videos will start coming out. I plan to have about 3 more videos other than this out by by the end, or by next Friday, I should say. As I've said before, the main reason I have been doing YouTube is just to get my improvisation skills up for my future career in meteorology broadcasting, because we're about the only broadcasting group that doesn't get a script, so pretty much all of it is improvisation based off of data and whatever else you'd like to call it. So this video is going to be a Minnesota United season preview. Now, I know they've played 2 games already, and they've won both of them. Spoiler alert, sorry. They beat Vancouver away from home 3-2 in the first week of the season, and they beat San Jose 3-0 in a pretty dominating win last week. They play the LA Galaxy this week, so it should be a pretty big test for them. This is the first relatively good team we'll be playing this year, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I wasn't really excited for this season because we did get a little bit better. I thought that maybe we would finish around 7th or 8th in the Western Conference, but after seeing those 2 wins, we've been playing really well, and we're one of 4 teams that that is undefeated but also hasn't tied, so we've gotten 3 points in all our games. One of 4 teams out of the 24 in the league to do that, which is pretty good. So it's what you like to see from your team. So I think what I'm going to do is go over the lineup, what we did in the winter to get better, and probably at the end I'll give you my prediction for probably where we'll finish, and we'll call it a wrap there. So I hope you guys enjoy. So getting straight in, the first thing we did this winter, one of the things, was we signed Vito Mannone, very good goalkeeper. The last club he played for was Reading, I believe, in England, so he's a pretty good goalkeeper. He's played in some of the top leagues in Europe. He isn't even that old either. So it's pretty cool we got him. And as backup, for having a backup of Bobby Shuttleworth, that's super good. Most of the goals that we conceded last year were not his fault at all. Our defense was awful last year, so you can't really blame that on him. So at goalkeeper, I think we're set for a little while at least. Probably one of the best goalkeeper combinations in the league, I'd say. And now, really, the reason why we're so much better this year is because our defense is so much better. We've been missing that main guy in the center. We've been forced to play, guys that are out of position at center back, which is never a great thing. So pretty much, Ike Opara, who we signed this winter from Sporting Kansas City, he's a little old, but he made the All-Star game last year, and he scores goals, and he is a rock at the back, which is great to see. So we signed Ike Opara. He's been a staple at the back. Wouldn't surprise me if he started, I don't know, pretty much every game except one, maybe. Providing he doesn't get injured, of course. And next to him, Michael Boxall. We had him last year. He was pretty much our only good center back last year. And I think the combination between Boxall and Opara is pretty impressive. And then we have Brent Kallman as well on the bench, along with Wyatt Ohmsberg, who we drafted not this year but last year. So those pairing the center backs, I'm not too worried about our defense this year, at least from the center back perspective. And I'd say that's one of the best in the league. One area where we're lacking is the fullbacks. Francisco Calvo finally gets to play his main left back position that he plays for Costa Rica. He finally gets to play that for Minnesota United, and with that, he's been getting forward a lot more often, and that's why he scored a goal already this year. And on the right side, a guy I hadn't really heard of before. His name is Roman Metteneier. He's from Madagascar. We signed him this year after letting go of 2 right backs last year. We also have Carter Manley to back him up, but I'd say we're a little weak at our fullback positions. We don't really have much depth if people get injured. But Metteneier looked pretty good in the first 2 games, so we're still kind of seeing what he can do. So it'll be fun to see what he can do throughout the rest of the year. Moving into the midfield, this is where we've really strengthened. This was a glaring hole last year. We couldn't get the ball from the defense to the strikers, and it was very evident. Teams just forced us to make turnovers in the midfield and hit us on the counter every time. And that started with the signing of Ozzy Alonso from Seattle, who's a center defensive mid. And that's a great signing. He's made several MLS All-Star games. And Rasmus Schuler is also a good fit at that center defensive mid position. So I think we're pretty set there. Moving into the center mid spot, we signed Jan Gregus from FC Copenhagen. And if you don't know, Copenhagen is pretty much the best team in Denmark. They compete in European competitions all the time and do well. So this was a really good signing for us, especially because Gregus is very young. He's Slovakian, and he's a really good free kick specialist for sure. That's what I've noticed so far. We've had a lot more success on free kicks than we have in the past. Some other midfielders, not really. We're a little weak. I guess you can qualify Darwin Quintero as a midfielder, but he mainly plays in the number 9 role or center attacking mid. And Miguel Ibarra, part of the combo of Batman and Superman that made pretty much everyone fall in love with this team a few years ago. Unfortunately, we don't have Superman anymore, but Batman has still done a decent job. He has a few goals in the last 2 games. Miguel Ibarra has been with our team since about 2014. He did get signed by Club Leon in Mexico for a year, but decided to come back once we got into MLS from the NASL, which was great to see. Some other midfielders, we have Ethan Finley, who's a good winger, cam-type player. But I think we're a little weak in the center mid area. We only have one good one, really, Gregus. But, that remains to be seen. Moving on to our attack. Like I said, last year we lost Superman, which was really sad. He's my guy, my favorite player. I've watched him since he scored a bicycle kick goal in 2014. That pretty much made me a fan of the team. So I was sad that he left, but Darwin Quintero and Romario Ibarra have had some good link-up play so far. Darwin Quintero obviously being the creator of pretty much everything. And if it's not Romario Ibarra, it's Angelo Rodriguez. Both of those signings are pretty good. We have 2 pretty good young strikers, too, in Mason Toye and Abu Danladi, which is quite cool. I think, Darwin Quintero, if he kills it this year, he might have a shot at MLS MVP. I wouldn't be that surprised if it happened. If he helps us into maybe like 3rd or 2nd in the Western Conference, I bet Darwin Quintero has a shot at MVP this year. He's played well. We're really killing it with how we're playing, much more attack-minded. And our coach, Adrian Heath, has actually, kind of called out his players from last year, but, one of Minnesota's journalists asked him why why the team has been playing a lot better these first 2 games, and he said, well, you know, adding more talent obviously helps you play better and makes me be able to do my job better. So, kind of a shot at some people, but yeah, I mean, either way, I mean, we're technically top of the league right now. We're playing well. It's a pretty exciting team, actually. I'm looking forward to what they can do over the course of this season. Now, where does our team rank in the league? You know, I think we're up there. I think our midfield is still a little bit weak, and maybe our striker position is a little bit weak. So I'd say as far as, like, talent-wise, we're probably at, like, 7th or 8th in the league. There are some teams that are better than us. But if we can keep this chemistry going, I wouldn't be surprised if we can move higher. So where do I see us finishing this year? I mean, Seattle's going to be good in the Western Conference. Both LA teams are going to be good. Dallas is probably going to be good. So probably 4th or 5th in the Western Conference, which is good enough for a playoff spot into the wild card round. Maybe we'll get a home playoff game. That would be cool if we come in 4th. That would be cool. I don't know. I think this team could make a run. I'm pretty excited for them to prove themselves, really. After how disappointing the last 2 years have been as far as our team and our performance, I think it'll be good to have a good soccer team in Minnesota. I think it'll increase the following quite a bit. And, you know, hopefully the new stadium affects us in a good way, because there is a rumor, or well, there's a superstition around the world that having a new stadium makes you play worse sometimes. You know, you can look at West Ham United out of England as an example of that. So yeah, I mean, hopefully the new stadium helps us. I hope you guys have enjoyed my preview for this season. Preview, even though we've already played 2 games. Feel free to comment anything down below if you disagree with anything I've said. Hopefully I'll have a video out tomorrow night about just the overall Minnesota sports layout right now. Then I want to do a video on Monday reacting to where the Gophers get placed in the March Madness tournament. And then maybe at some point next week I will fill out a bracket live, maybe? That would be pretty cool. But sorry guys for not uploading in a long time. I haven't really felt like it, but clearly, you know, I need a little help on the improvisation front. So hopefully you guys enjoy, and I'll talk to you next time. Have a good night, everybody.